we're gonna jump right into this first look right here. Another selection from work. We have the first outfit. This is a
Wake up, exactly as I am right now.
Well, hello there. I think I just got
I'm
something
really sorry if I was bad.
to solve a problem.
What's this? Looks like we're just here to work. Material.
I'm at the hardware store. I'm looking for some type of piece of wood to be the backing for my painting. So hey, hello. Okay, I'm home from work. Today is Tuesday. One thing I noticed about my videos is the camera's too close up on my face. We don't need all that. You don't need all that. So I guess the train is gonna make a guest appearance in every video, but that's okay. Trying to get my painting finished. Let me show you what my ideal process is. Well, one ideal is just to go to the thrift store and see if I can find a big frame that will fit painting over there. But I did have another ideal, and this is the one that I'm kind of working on. So I went to the hardware store, as you saw, I wanted a backing for the painting, and was trying to come up with inexpensive solutions or a solution. So one thing that was within reach of my wallet was wall paneling. So I picked up this piece right here, and my ideal is to take said painting. Please don't look at anything in the background. Is to take said painting, put it on this board, and then I also found on the street this molding. So I was going to take pieces of this molding and put it along the edge, you know, to give it a nice finish. And if I have to paint this or the molding, this piece or the molding, then I'll do that. But one issue that I'm having, it's not really an issue, it's just something I'm going to have to do, is on the back of the painting. You can see I've got this foam, and I just need to take it off. And I think it'll be easy to take that off. That'll get it closer to this, and then when I put the molding on, it'll be easier to have that right up against the edge of the painting. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is just try to take that off, and I'm just going to leave it sitting up against that as I take it off. And hopefully, I think my battery's going to die soon, so if it does, what I'm doing is taking that off in case you don't see it. And let's back that camera up some. I know one thing I'm going to have to do is use probably like a putty knife and scrape off these little parts like right here. So one part of the painting process is preparing your area where you're going to do your art. So for me to get that styrofoam, I think I said that right. To get that off the back of the painting, I need a surface, and here's my surface. So first, I need to clean that surface. Also, I wanted to let you know that I got rid of two more, I don't want to say I got rid of, but two of my plants went to another friend. So now I have 4 plants left. These 2 in here, and I have 2 in the living room. But you know they multiply, so I could take this one over here. I don't know if you can see it. And I can make 2 more out of that if I want to. I'm not in a hurry to have more plants. I prefer to use newspaper when cleaning glass. Oh, that's pretty cool. Might hold on to that. Might try to recreate that in some type of way. Always thinking artistically. Just gonna crumble this up. I needed to clean this table off anyway. And to protect the painting, I'm gonna be putting my throw onto the table, so I definitely wanted the table to be clean if I'm gonna be putting my throw on it. Throw. I'm gonna go grab the painting. So that way the face of the painting will be protected. And I've got my putty knife. So now I'm just gonna scrape off as much of this as I can. Now let's see if that's a better fit. Okay, that's much better. Now I just got to figure out a way to attach this to the board, which will probably be with some type of adhesive. And then I can come along with my molding and maybe do 2 pieces of the molding on the side. Let's actually see how it will look. So the idea is to kind of come along with the molding in some sort of fashion, like maybe this, and it may just be 1 piece. I had these different pieces and I thought I could maybe try to make a frame, so it'll end up being something like this. And then of course on the corners I will miter those out and then do another piece here, another piece here, and then of course there. But that's the plan. Just trying to find like what would be a good sort of configuration for these wooden pieces. I definitely think it'll be something like this. maybe like that, and then this will get painted. So that's the plan. I just got to execute it. Okay, I'm just home from work, and what we are going to do is just try to get this image squared up, and for me to also mark off the amount of space that I will need for the molding to go around it. So basically, I want to get this to the point where the molding is here also, and then I will cut away whatever parts I don't need. So we're going to put this on the table right here, right now. So I will need to make a cut where this black line is, right here, all the way down. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to cut off up here so that this will fit both the painting and also the molding at the top. Oops, 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 oops. Molding at the top, the sides, and the bottom. To do, I just decided right now is, you see where there's just a little bit right here at the top. I was going to, try to cut that off, but now I'm thinking that at the top and the bottom of the painting, I may want to leave just a little bit of this wood just as another sort of piece of the molding. So instead of it just this being the end of the molding, it would have all of this, because I'm going to be staining or painting this anyway. And then another thing that I am thinking about is coming, once I got this cut and got this framed, is coming back with another piece that will go on top of this, so that it will go on the top of the actual painting. Because right now I'm just going to have it butting right up against it, which may not be enough. It may not be enough to hide the edge of the painting, like right here, as you can see. So it'll give the effect that I will give if I use another piece. Let me show you real quick. Just grabbing another piece to play around with. So instead of this being the end of it, there will be another piece that will probably go on top of this one. And I will attach it sort of like this. So that way we're not getting any sort of edge of the painting like this showing. And then what will be the frame will be one piece, two piece, and then what's left of the paneling. So that will make a bulkier frame, will make it look more like a frame, I think. So instead of the 4 pieces, I'm going to need 8. And I'm going to do that at the top of the painting and the bottom. So when you see that molding and it all comes together, it'll really look like a sort of, I don't know, an intricate molding, if you will. I mean, as far as using a like a floor sort of railing molding for this, to make this frame. I think that'll work for me. But the first thing I got to do, I've marked off where I need to cut. So I just need to get that, just this piece right here. Just get this this piece cut off, and then I'll need to get these pieces cut and make sure that I get those at a 45-degree angle to attach them to this. I'm going to be using this alien tape that Jay is letting me use, my friend Jay. So this is supposed to be really strong. This is what I will use to attach the painting to this, and initially I may use this to attach the molding. I don't know if I'm going to be going in with some sort of adhesive as well. I probably will be using some little nails, especially for this part to go into the other, and like molding to molding, I probably will be using nails. But for the initial just going around it, I will probably use this glue, and that will be, sort of better just for me in case I ever want to like reframe this or take it out and frame it in a different way. So let's get the circular saw out, because we will need that, and we're gonna get this thing cut, and we're gonna make a mess in my hot kitchen.
Suspect wearing black clothes, sunglasses.
Situation growing more desperate moments later. But fled in a black four-door by heavy duct tape. Police no cell phone coverage. There may be limited access to surveillance cameras. We have to say exactly how the couple was killed. It's only unanswered questions, but what they do know is something incredibly dangerous.
Fighting from passengers, arresting one of the pilots, what he's car was going down. 7 people racing the house answer, and what he's saying about his future. Just a moment here.
Hello again. So today is Tuesday. I am just home. I have got my saw ready, I hope. I put the blade on, got it out of the box. I have the panel lined up to where I need to cut it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get this thing cut. I hope the battery holds up. But I found some plastic that I had held onto for some reason. I don't have a workshop or anything, so I'm just gonna kind of put some plastic up in back of the saw, and hopefully to make this one cut, and all the other little ones that I'll make later. Hopefully it won't produce a lot of sawdust. But anyway, since this is in the dining room, I kind of wanted to block off the kitchen area, so let me do that right now. This is plastic I found. So I'm gonna have to cut like right here. So I'm gonna use these clamps. Also, my 3D printer is right here, so I'm definitely moving that out of here. And I'm also probably going to close these up. All right, so this is my setup. I know that looks crazy. Hey, that's why I need a house and a garage. My battery is very low, and I'm not going to risk me not getting this shot of me cutting this panel with the saw. So I'm just going to change the battery before it goes out.
No, I mean, I'm beyond thrilled that we get to have more Totoro on the show. I always thought like Tilson 1921. He also mentions Counterpoint, the J.K. Simmons sci-fi show.
Get into the construction and go back to, you know, you say like the propaganda video having this visual echo of Helen being plunged underwater. When things like that happen, it's like, oh, it's a nice little close loop, it's a cool detail, but it's also just indicative that these people know what they're doing, and that they have a certain range of foresight to know.
I did a play, so you're talking about the Orpheus Christie, and I recommend this play called Christie by Sarah Gould. I mean, it's very thin, it's easy to read, but it's really, really good. Boy.
I feel like sawdust went everywhere, and if I'm being completely honest, I should have had a dust mask on. So that is within my future. But we got the piece cut, the main piece cut that we needed to have cut. The saw worked fine, a little loud, which is why I wanted to do it like as soon as I got home in the daytime, because there's all sorts of noise out on the street. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my vacuum cleaner out, and I'm just going to try to clean up some of this sawdust that I think I'll be finding for a while. I did have these on, but I should have had a mask. Any like prolonged cutting, I will make sure next trip to the hardware store, I'll give me a nice mask. So I can Swiffer the rest of the, well, I can use a Swiffer on the floor, clean up the rest. I mean, sawdust is like that, like it goes, I mean, I have my past experiences when I did have a home when I lived in a home with a garage, is that sawdust gets everywhere. So I'll be cleaning and dusting, but this is just a small project. I'm not going to use the saw often here, just for little small projects. The only other cuts, again, that I will need to do, I'll need to make 8 cuts, and I'll have to get my little tool to measure all these out to the right length, and then to the right 45-degree angle, and then with that, I can start staying these. But let me stop telegraphing what's going to happen and just show you. I'm also preparing dinner. I'm going to be making some pork steaks tonight. I'm going to season those up really good, and I'm going to cook them in the oven, going to bake them, but then I'm going to finish them off by putting them under the broiler with some barbecue sauce, a little bit of brown sugar. So I'm going for an actual steak feel and texture and taste, even though they're pork. And I made some rice last night, and I put a little bit of carrots and broccoli in it, and I have some left, so I don't have to worry about the sides. So that's done. I did stop at Aldi's on the way home, and I just picked up this Vitality cereal. I was running low on brown sugar, and just got these corn tortillas. So yeah, I think what I've been doing with this project is just doing, I'm listening to my podcast on severance, which is what they're talking about. It's getting to the end of that episode, which is why I'm not really paying too much attention. But I just last week I kind of binged the second season of Severance. It was really good. I don't know why it took me so long to get to it, but I'm doing that. Don't look at anything in the back. Please don't look at anything in the back. And I'm going to try to back this camera up off of you. Get me off of you being so up close up on you. But yeah, I'm kind of just doing this project little by little, but I'm doing it the actual week. The video will be coming out Sunday, so this is pretty much like going to be like, you know, 5 or 6 days before the video is going to be released. So I got to get it done. I promised in the last video that I would have this done. So I'm going to just work on the other pieces that I need for the video, which is measuring out the pieces for the frame. And then I probably won't cut those until tomorrow. I also have a jigsaw, but I think the circular saw for making, you know, cleaner cuts, which is also why I wanted to get a miter saw, which I didn't get. I opted to get the circular saw instead, you know, based on price and what, you know, I'd be able to use it for. But I still would like to get a miter saw for future projects. But anyway, that's probably all I'm going to do today for the frame project, and we'll pick it back up tomorrow with the wooden pieces, unless I might measure those and then I might record some of that. The place is an absolute fucking mess, excuse my language. The pork steaks are just about done. I'm about to take those out. I baked them in some foil, and then I mixed up some roasted garlic paste, you know, put it in the oven so the garlic becomes soft, and I added some brown sugar, butter, and some barbecue sauce. So I sort of put that on, slathered that on. I did a slathering of that sauce. So let's take it out and see what it looks like. That's what the steak is looking like. The pork steak. Almost giving you real steak. I could have let it brown a little bit more, but I just wanted to get a little glaze on there. And I'm heating up my vegetables in the oven. Just thought you need a nice little interlude before we get on with the picture. I mean the painting. The painting. The painting. The painting. Hello. It's Wednesday, and I'm just home from work and about to work on the molding for the painting. So let's get to it. Of course, I'm listening to a podcast, so sorry about that.
We will not hear any clips from the episode, unlike last week where we crammed like so many. I want to start. I do want to go sort of like plotline by plotline, but I want to start with this. Like, let's check in on the opening credits because this is something that we've been like looking at every week. Not every week, but like as the season evolves, we're like, oh, that's what
eyeball a lot of this.
Vial of milky goo is. It's the medicine that Mark's taking, or that's why there's an ice flow, or that's why there's that.
It's not what you want. It's not what you want to see come out of a human head. But I was interpreting it a little bit more as not necessarily like helping repositioning, maybe saving in some instances, maybe winning a power.
There's that. Hell yeah. So Gemma in the testing floor elevator, we've seen that image in the opening credits flashes between Helena and Gemma. And on one hand, that just means we're gonna see most of our West African going to start talking about for our Q&A, but it's pretty good. And again, I would like to talk about
I'm so glad that there's an endless variety of shows with yourself, but perhaps the mother.
And the argument is really season with that Ian.
Maybe more of a cousin or something.
Or like just like a Ian, yeah, Ian. That's right. I guess they all are. I don't like that word.
No.
Okay. And then here's my fave, personally. On the pod, last week, which is like not the most human, but
I wanted to mark where the photo is, so that way I don't have to deal with the actual painting. So gonna got it all marked out now.
So could a Natalie be a secret?
I think it's possible. I would say the fact that she was also painted, so if I'm already putting one or two up there, I don't want Natalie to be one as well.
Okay, so to recap, it's Rickon.
I hope so.
So now I get to make the measurements
So that has been
on the
the
molding
stomach turning game of
here.
Soaring. And if you have nominations
Get
for
the
this
dimensions
weekly
right.
game, you can
So,
email us at pineapplebobby.
let me get to it.
I think I'll see what Vanelli slow
No, it's not so good.
But you know, there's definitely callbacks, and some work and some don't. And yeah, some feel a little too cute for me. And
Obviously, there's the
I
element
do
of
want to measure this just to see if I'm close.
critical to the woman. Like if the end of her arc is her as a little girl.
It's about 29 and a half.
I understand what we're doing there, but it feels like kind of a missed opportunity given her presence throughout this season and given like how fascinating that character could be. And so I'm still waiting for
Yeah, that's about 29 and a half. So I will cut,
Sorry, I'm just a little worried that she might be out of here.
do another piece like this,
This is last season as well.
29 and a half.
I think they're making it like back to back to back to back.
Always measure twice. Alright, so gotta make some cuts for this. Now I gotta measure for
A child being indoctrinated, being
for the long side. I need 2 more pieces of wood.
It's like Drummond as word police is such a goofy.
Okay, so let's turn from those lines to something more overtly emotional, which is like Irving and Dylan. Like Irving and Dylan exists as this sort of like cautionary tale for the love triangle, quadrangle, molecular tracking with Mark, and it's very
48.
Oh yeah.
There's like an unexpected say nothing crossover. That was like my cast member.
I assumed.
Versus I'm ready. Helen and Mark have Chinese restaurant. This is just sort of like idea of a connection that transcends whatever. And so
They bring 4 heads together apparently.
I do think he feels that intellectually, but feeling it hit sort of just like bring it out again.
I think the seal of it for me ultimately was, yeah, some of the echoes actually can even get like the same sort of pondersome music cue show for sure.
But also, to Charles and saying things in interviews all season that makes it sound like here's actually especially not anymore. Irving's best.
As would I hate that you have to write yourself into those corners, but just yeah.
Also, the dog played Mondale on Succession. The dog's named Ditto. Very good way, like both Ritter and Mondale. So here's a question: is this
So I'm not sure why the saw is like giving me kickback when I try to cut that second piece, but hey, I'm all about safety. So just the edges are going to be a little frayed, but I can just saw those down, grind those down. So that's what I'm going to do next. And then I'm going to see how this fits. I'm actually thinking I don't want to use the circular saw anymore to finish off the other pieces that I'm going to get to complete the frame, because I'm going to have to sort of miter those edges so that they connect like at the corners. And yeah, just making those little minute cuts. That's why I would need a miter saw, which I don't have. So I definitely don't want to use the circular saw for that. It's such a small cut. Always safety first. So I think I'm just going to go out and buy me a little like hand saw, and I can get those little corners, you know, once I know what I need, and I can actually cut the rest of the wood that way. So yeah, the circular saw is going to come in handy in the future, but I don't really need it anymore for the rest of this project. So right now I'm just going to try to piece this all together, see where I need to make my miter cuts, mark everything up, and yeah, I'll check back in with you soon. So this is how it's looking right now. I've got the pieces, the painting laid out. So you can see with these corners, I'm gonna wanna miter these edges. So that's what I'm gonna need the small saw for, to mark how I wanna cut these, and then to match up the corner pieces so that it forms a corner for the frame. And then once I have that part done, I'm going to come back in with another 4 pieces of wood, and it will be another miter corner cut. So basically it'll sit right on top. I'm not sure which way I want to do that, but it will touch the frame like that, and then we'll miter these edges as well, and then I'll do that so that way it, you know, it's covering the frame right here, and then you're getting like getting a lot of dimension to the frame, so it won't just be this piece flat. It'll, this one and the other pieces that I add will add some dimension, will give it the look of an actual frame that has some decorative value to it. And then once I paint or stain all of these the same, it'll look like one frame. Right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go ahead and sand those edges down on the frame, like these pieces, like this. This is a good one, good example where it didn't cut correctly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get those sand down so that they're smooth and without jagged edges. Few things I'm going to need for this next part is I went out and got a little saw to make those fine cuts. I think this will work. And then I'm going to use this for my corner cuts that I need to make on the wood. So I'm going to lay out the painting, which, by the way, we've got the signature on there now. I still need to treat this, and I'm going to use this Mod Podge gloss to protect this. It should make the colors even more vibrant and of course protect it. So let's lay out the picture and get to measuring our pieces of molding. By the way, this is a whole next day. Today's Thursday and I'm in from work. I think I'm going to start with the longer pieces first to measure those. I labeled the pieces, so this is the right side and we got the left side. I'm not going to show you me measuring all these corners. So this will be, I'll need to make a cut here. And for this to go all the way across, I should be using this right here to make these marks. So this will be a cut. And then I'm going to want to go from here to here. So that gets cut off. And I'm gonna have to measure each side like that, so I'm not gonna subject you to me making all of those cuts. I'll come back with the saw. Marks have been made for all of the side pieces. And by all, there's only 2. But I had to do them on each corner. So once I cut these, which will happen with trusty saw, then I'll come back and measure the bottom pieces and the top. I won't make you suffer through more of those, so I will come back when I have got all of those cut. So I made a modification of clamping it here and also down at that end. Let's see if that goes a little bit better. This is the second piece. And then also it's helping when I score it first. And then after I score it a few times, I start sawing. So that went a little bit smoother than the first piece. I wish I was done. But I got to do those smaller pieces too. Flip it around. Probably would help if I wasn't doing this on glass. Let's try this again. I can always use some sandpaper and sand down some of these edges. Now I just got to measure the top part, and then I'll cut 4 more times.
Yes, or your self-interest, huh?
Man, that was tough, but I got it done.
And I wondered why.
Yeah.
Why? Would Gary's ex be
So I
eager
don't
to
know,
tell me?
like the other cuts that I need to make. I think they're just
All
gonna
that thinking,
be
and that's what you came up with?
straight cuts,
Yeah, that's what I came up with.
because I don't really have a
You know,
setup
I
for
wish
like
you
a
knew that I would find out that Gary was living a double life when I snooped around in his office.
tool shop,
Didn't you?
like
And how could I
a woodworking
possibly know
shop.
what you would find in
Not
his
really
office?
set up like
Maybe
that.
you planted it
Well,
there.
anyway, what I'm gonna do
Oh,
now
part of
is
your
I'm
plan
just
was
gonna
to
sand
swallow
down the
between
edges
me and the father of my
of
baby.
those pieces of wood.
Okay, girl.
The
And
corners.
you know what?
The battery's about
Jordan,
to
stop.
die out
There was
anyway.
that
So
convenient story about the
next
farm
thing
bill.
you will
What's her
see
name?
is me
Kimberly
at
Ford.
least
Great job
probably
at terrifying me, Andy. I played right holes in
putting
your hands.
the finishing
You know what?
coating
Girl, I gotta
on the
give it to you
painting.
because you are an
I think that's
expert
something that
at
I can do
psychological warfare.
without a lot of difficulty.
Penelope,
Sorry, trying to get caught up on sisters.
You want your money back?
SISTAS.
No.
Come on, Tyler Perry.
But I do not like
I just sanded up these edges right here,
That is no
so
way to be an
these are ready to go.
entrepreneur or a mother.
And any of these that don't fit perfectly
Sorry, you're right.
as I'm trying to join them up,
And sorry's got to go too.
I do have some wood putty that I'll be using for that.
I want my money back.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and prime and paint these. I mean, it's a lot of steps to this. I would love to like do like some wood strippers, strip these down and everything. It would be so easy to just use these as is, but I actually think they need to be painted. So next step for these is to prime and paint, and then we can start putting everything together. I know I did say that there were going to be 4 more of these to go around the edge, and that may or may not happen. I think I'm just going to go out and find a thinner molding to do that. And I'm not sure when I'll do that, but I did promise you that you will see this painting hung up on the wall. So, yeah. We're going to get as much of this done for you and for myself as I can do, as we can do. So, yeah, hang in there with me. We're going to get this done. You're going to see a finished painting. We are working against the clock and against gravity to get this camera straight, to get this done for Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to do another coat. I'm going to let this dry and I'm going to see how it comes out. And then I'm gonna start, well, I still have to paint the molding. That's the last thing I have to do. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully I can get that done, and then I can, I'll still have Saturday to sort of piece everything together after everything dries. And I'll be using this tape to initially put this together. I'm gonna do away with adding more molding at this time because I just want to get this done. But right now, this is where we're at. This video is going to be over an hour probably, but you know, art takes time. If you want it, if you're passionate about your art and you want things to come together, I could have been and done this, but it's just sometimes life is just there, and I have to work with the time that I have to get things done. So with that being said, we're gonna let Plitty Painting dry. You're also going to get the name of this in the video as well, what I am titling this painting. So I'm going to sign off for now. We're going to come back with the painting and putting this together and the title, and we'll be done. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. It is Friday. It is the next day. Let's check on the painting. Let's put it up on the easel. I think it's looking really good now that it has the Mod Podge on there. So today, this morning, I'm going to focus on getting the molding painted. So let's lock in and get to it. I'm going to spread out some paper on the table so that I don't get paint on the table. I'm only going to paint the top and the sides. Put these in the middle. I will have to prime these first. All right, let me get the primer out. Got the primer. Let's shake it up, stir it up, and get to painting. I think I was procrastinating about this part yesterday. Because I was like, man, I'm running out of time. Am I going to have time to do all this? But you just have to make time. So is dry. I have a few options. I had a lot of options. What I decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to just do brown because it's going to go with the board right here that I'm going to be using if any of this shows through, which it should at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do brown. But then after I do the brown, I'm just going to come in with some of this metallic finish just to give it a little sheen in some areas. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's my plan. Let's get to it. Gonna throw this away. It's conking out on me. So here's the frame pieces that I have. These are dry now, so I can really start to put these together, but they did come out a little bit more gold. I was thinking that the brown would show through. So what I'm gonna do, just because I know a little bit of the frame will still show at the bottom and at the top, I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of that gold paint. All right, it's not too bad. I do have some areas where I am going to need to use the putty, like probably all of the corners, but I expected that, so I'm not really worried about that. So yeah, I'm liking how it's looking. I think this will work. And I like how the gold will fit in with like the gold and yellow and oranges that I have in the painting and the bronze sort of color of the skin, the hand up here. So now I just need to put this all together and we're gonna be almost done. take the glasses off for this. So there's still a few things that I need to do for the painting at the corners. I'm going to be adding some wood filler, and then I'll get that all taken care of. I need to add something to the back of the painting so that I can't hang it on the wall. But, I mean, come on. We got a finished painting. And if you want to know the name of the title of the painting, it is the title of this video. So, I present to you the finished painting. I mean, 98% done. The next time you ever see this in one of my videos, it will be hanging on the wall. And I still might go put some more like molding around the corners so that the painting is closed off on all of the edges. But I'm pretty happy for over 60-minute video to make this frame and to get this painting finally finished. So again, I present to you our history of clipped wings has never stopped us from soaring. Thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for what I get up to next week. All right, see ya.